So if you're decluttering right now, I'm sure the questions run through your mind. Okay, what should I sell? Or maybe I should donate it. How do I assign a value to this stuff? Well, we're going to talk about that coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue, where we talk about how to make money, save money, and create a retirement from nothing. Well, one of the big questions when you declutter is, okay, if you want to donate something or sell something, how do you assign a value? What makes sense? What's practical? Well, one of the hardest things to overcome when you declutter for yourself or when you help a family member or friend declutter is that perception of value. We all think our stuff is worth way more than it is. And that's one of the hardest things for people to work through and overcome, because you have to overcome that perception before you can realistically sell or donate something and have a value on it. Otherwise, it'll never happen. So you have got to deal with that perception of value right off the bat, and there are some great ways to do that. But the decision of whether to sell or donate in the first place really comes down to where do you want to spend your time. Everything you do when you are getting rid of items, whether you donate, sell, throw them out, whatever you do, takes time. It takes time to do all those things. So it comes down to where do you want to spend your time versus what do you want to actually accomplish. For example, maybe you want to have a garage sale. If you've ever had a garage sale, you know how much time they take to clean everything up, get everything priced, actually advertise the sale, then have the sale, then figure out what to do with all the stuff that's left over. Garage sales aren't easy, y'all. They are some of my least favorite things, actually, but there are some people who are very good at them. But if that's the direction you want to go, you have to understand the amount of time involved and have a plan for getting rid of things. So you may think, well, I'll just sell stuff online. That's really not any faster. And it's certainly not easier. You have to post things online. If you sell things via eBay or Poshmark or something along those lines, you have to deal with shipping. You have to deal with customer service. If you post them on something like Facebook Marketplace to sell locally, you're going to have people wanting to come see things, wanting to pick things up. None of those things are easy. And they don't take just a little bit of time either. They take a lot of time. So you have to weigh that. Where do you want to spend your time? So maybe you think, well, you know what? I'm just going to donate everything. Just donate everything. And a lot of charities will come and actually even pick things up for you if you donate them. But then you also want to assign a value to those things so you can get a tax credit. And the charity is going to depend on you to assign that value. And it can't just be a random value either. It's got to be an accepted IRS valuation. Again, not something that takes a small amount of time. It's going to take some research. So you have to decide, where do you want to spend your time? And this kind of brings up the last area. I think all of us these days have landfill avoidance. We don't want to just throw things away. But at the same time, sometimes we have a perception that something is useful when it's not. Torn items, clothing especially, stained, anything that's not usable, things that are broken, things that are in a set but don't have the matching parts to them, things that have things missing in them, anything like that has got to go. There are sometimes we hold on to those sorts of things and they really don't have a value. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a family member who likes to tinker with small engines. He's got 4 old defunct lawnmowers that don't work that he's going to get to one of these days, and he's going to fix them up. Well, they've been sitting there for 15 years. It's not going to happen. But yet, you don't want to throw those things away right into a landfill. That's like, ugh. You would be surprised how many people will come and pick things up for free if you post them on like Facebook Marketplace. So that is a good way to get rid of things. But you really have to come to terms with the fact that you are going to have to throw quite a few things away. There are things like newspapers and cardboard boxes. Those absolutely can be recycled, and if you have a recycling center near you, by all means recycle what you can. But there are going to be things you have to throw away, and you may have to make a trip to the landfill if you have a lot of things you are getting rid of. And so you really have to kind of adjust to that in your mind. Now let's get back to how you assign value. The IRS has a publication, it's publication 561, and it describes how you assign value to things like antiques, collectibles. It also explains that the IRS does not consider clothing of any value, no matter what. You can't get a deduction for donating clothing, so just understand that. But it explains to you how to do that. And very simply and broadly, it is you compare those items to either auction sites, retailers. You can have them appraised if it's something that is truly valuable, like a painting or an antique piece of furniture or something of that nature. You can have those things appraised, but basically it's by comparison of what it's actually worth. And one of the best things you can do, especially if you're helping a family member, is take photographs. Take photographs of the current condition. Compare the photograph to a similar item on eBay or some other site. Here's the problem most people have, is they, in their minds, think of that item as being in pristine condition, like when they bought it 30 years ago. And it's not in that condition anymore. And for some reason, when we see a photograph, our minds adjust to what is. But when we see the item in person, our minds go back to when we bought it. It's kind of like when you marry someone and you look at them 30 years later, in your mind, they're like they were 30 years ago. They don't age. Same thing is true with our stuff. So take a photograph. And if you're helping someone declutter, or you're going through someone's house decluttering and assigning value, let's say it's a family member's estate you're helping them with, you want to have backup in photographs. That keeps everybody from getting angry about things, because you can prove right there exactly what you did, exactly where the value came from, and that it was through the IRS approved process. You used that process of comparison. This is also true if you have a lot of things that are going to be donated to a charity and you're assigning value. Be sure and take a big picture. That way, if the IRS ever questions that, you have a photograph of exactly what you donated and exactly the value you assigned, and it won't be a problem. But you do need the photographs. Now, I will tell you from my perspective, the easiest thing to do is use a local sales site, so you don't have to deal with shipping, you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. People come pick stuff up, or you meet them and deliver those things. It tends to be fast, quick, easy. You post it on the site like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist if you have a Craigslist. And not all things are available in all areas. When I was in Amarillo, most people used Craigslist. Although now a lot of people use both that and Facebook Marketplace, but they still use Craigslist. Where I am rurally, nobody uses Craigslist. It's just not available. This is too small an area. Everybody uses Facebook Marketplace, but those allow you to get rid of things quickly. They allow you to post things that are free. I'm part of a gardeners group for Colorado Springs, and people are always posting things, whether it's building supplies, gardening supplies, mulch they have left over, cinder blocks they have left over, piles of brick, anything like that that people can come and get for free. People are getting something they can use, and those people are getting rid of it for nothing. So that may be a tool that you want to put into your arsenal of things that you use when you go to get rid of things. And this does really work well with things like old lawnmowers. You would be surprised how many people like to fix those up or use them for parts. So go ahead and offer those for free if you want, and go ahead and get rid of them. Now, figuring out which method you're going to use for various items that you are decluttering comes down to a system. If you have a systematic way of doing things, of assigning value, of getting those things priced, of getting them posted or put up for sale, or getting them donated, it's much more efficient. But having a system is really, really important. When you are making decisions on value, or you're helping a family member make decisions on value, the fact that you have that system gives you authority. It gives you more reasons and more backup to what you're doing. And it allows that person to accept what you're trying to do and how you're trying to help them. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.